A Boscobel man who has been affected by the recent policies of state government is looking to do something about it by running for the state assembly in the Southwest Wisconsin 49th District. Chad Henneman was a dairy farm kid who found it difficult to maintain sustaining full-time employment after earning a communications degree at UW-Platteville. He went back to school at Southwest Tech in Fenimore for 2 years and achieved a second degree there in the culinary business program at Southwest Tech. After graduation, Henneman worked 3 different part-time jobs before finding full-time employment at Land's End, before landing a food service leader position at the Wisconsin Secure Program Facility in Boscobel. That was in 2008. Just a few years later, as he put it, everything changed.
In 2010, Governor Walker and Mr. Tranel got elected to office, and one of the things they passed was Act 10. And Act 10 was, not only did it take away the money from state workers in that they couldn't bargain for anything else, but now they can't even bargain for work conditions. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize is one of the biggest issues with Wisconsin and America these days, is how you are treated as a worker.
Henneman said that being affected by state government was one thing, but deciding to run for a seat within it required a major sacrifice on his part.
I'm also a classified state employee, which means that I had my paycheck, it gets money from state taxes and from federal taxes, because we had federal inmates at the prison where I was working at. Well, one of the things with that job and doing all the research on this was you can't say, oh, I'm going to run, but I haven't announced my candidacy yet. And I kept looking at it and hoping somebody else is going to run, hoping somebody else, a good candidate's going to show up. The guy that was thinking about running, he would have been an excellent candidate too, but he decided he couldn't do it because of all the travel for his job. So I'm like, you know what? Somebody has to at some point step up and do this. So I had to make sure that I could do this. And I had to make sure, one, I had a job outside of there. So I ended up applying at 6 different places. I got a phone call back from one of them, because all I'm looking for is something for 6 months, just through this time, just so I can have some money coming in so I can pay some of my bills. Most of my bills are now in deferment. My college loan payments are in deferment for 6 months so that I can actually do this.
Chad Henneman said that while he was collecting signatures to appear on the ballot, he received a lot of positive feedback from the people he spoke to.
You need 200 signatures to get on the ballot. I got 288, which was really good. I mean, I ran around farms in Northern Grant County and got as many signatures as I could from people that I knew, teachers, state workers, state employees at the prison, the people that were affected and have been affected and will continue to be affected by this. And when they said, when I told them that I was running, they're like, good, we need somebody. We need somebody who knows what they're talking about up there. We need somebody who is an actual working class person running for office.
According to Henneman, the issues at hand go beyond the effects of Act 10. He said jobs and wages, particularly here in southwest Wisconsin, are a significant concern.
I am concerned that there aren't jobs in southwest Wisconsin. You can drive by any small towns that have like a Dairy Queen or a Burger King, McDonald's or something, and they have the sign saying job openings or hiring now or something like that. There are jobs out there. There are, but they're not family supporting jobs. They're not even single person supporting jobs anymore, really. Minimum wage has to keep track with what the prices are being paid. If you raise minimum wage, you're going to raise everything else too on everybody else's wages, just because that's the way it would work. Higher tide raises all ships. Wages have stayed stagnant for the last 4 years, 5 years, and we haven't seen anything. Meanwhile, prices keep going up. A tax break looks nice and it looks sexy to everybody, but at the end of the year, when the average person gets $43 in their bank account, that's a tank of gas for some people. If you actually raised somebody's wages 15 cents, 25 cents an hour, that's going to be a lot more in their pocket that they can spend and actually help the economy. The economy is pushed by people buying things. And it's by the group, the mass majority of people buying things, not the people at the very top of the economic scale buying a few small items. It's pushed by the regular people making the small wages that have the families that are going to places and buying stuff.
Education and the funding of public schools has been a major political topic over the past decade plus. Chad Henneman said that eroding the funding system through supporting private voucher schools is not a benefit for students and communities in the 49th District and other places in southwest Wisconsin.
Cuba City, Lancaster, Platteville, Boscobel, Fenimore, schools are all struggling. All their schools are struggling for money, for funding. And if we keep cutting taxes and we keep messing around with the funding of schools, you're going to see more and more schools starting to cut more and more programs. Now, you have a lot of people who are paying taxes here in Richland County, and their tax money is going to Madison, and then they're doling out to a private, for-profit school that has absolutely no say whatsoever as to, well, wait a second here. I don't want my kids learning this, and I don't want my money being going to this and being taught for these kids to be taught this. Public schools have that. You can actually look at what the curriculum is for public schools. They have that oversight. These private for-profit schools, they don't have the oversight. They can teach whatever they want for the most part, and now they're getting tax dollars to do whatever they want with that too. That is really definitely not something that is cool for a lot of the people here in southwest Wisconsin.
Overall, Chad Henneman said the people in the 49th Assembly District have not had their concerns heard. He said it's not right that politicians are more likely to listen to lobbyists than the citizens they represent. Those who would like to learn more about Chad Henneman, his story, position on issues, or ways to contact him, you can find him online at chadhenneman.com or at Henneman for Assembly on Facebook.